I had no sooner put the finishing touches on my script about the psychology of why even powerful people give in to authoritarian demands, like Disney capitulating to Trump over Jimmy Kimmel, when I saw the announcement after getting home from work that Jimmy Kimmel will be back on the air tomorrow night at the time of this recording. Normally, I like to give the algorithm 24 to 48 hours to chew over my uploads before publishing them, but I guess I'm going to try and jump on this trending hashtag here. No apologies, okay? Honestly, I would like to stick to more evergreen topics on this channel, not get too wrapped up in the day-to-day insanity of this, the dumbest timeline in the MCU, or anywhere else for that matter, but moments do arise. It seems like this is one of them. In case you didn't know, one of the first people Trump bullied into bribing him, you may have guessed by now or heard by now, was Bob Iger, CEO of Disney, over comments George Stephanopoulos made. Like the stupid, cheap, crass, schoolyard bully Trump is, he went back for Disney's lunch money pretty much the very next day. I moved around a lot as a kid. By the time I got to the 10th grade, it was the 10th school I had ever been to. And they all had one thing in common: bullies. All of whom quickly targeted me, really pretty much for whatever reason. In a few places, it was as simple as I was one of the few Scots-Irish kids in that neighborhood, and I had an extra capital letter in my name. Relatively quickly, I learned a technique that had some staying power and served me rather well for the years I lived on the street. The very best way to avoid being victimized is to refuse to be a victim. The best way to avoid a fight is to make your potential opponent know exactly how ready you are to get into one. And that even though I may well lose this fight, you will not win. I was a skinny kid with bad teeth and strange interests. The mere fact that I stood up at all indicated that I might be a little crazy, and they weren't entirely wrong. This isn't what I've seen in anyone in facing the creeping authoritarianism of Trump. Really, actually, it hasn't been creeping at all, just creepy. If anything, I actually think we have been very lucky that Trump has tried to call winning an election by 1.5% a landslide, and then act as though that's what actually happened. As he is undeniably in cognitive decline, he may well believe that's what actually happened. It wasn't. Though the word in the mainstream media is that it was always the plan to bring Jimmy Kimmel back, that strikes me as no more truthful than anything else that has been said about this matter or many others anywhere. Apparently, the server used to process Disney Plus subscriptions crashed because so many people were canceling their subscriptions. Stars were lining up to express their objections. No bueno. Frankly, I have no idea what Jimmy Kimmel's ratings were, or if he was any good at what he did. I haven't watched actual television in at least a decade. I'm hardly alone. And frankly, the era of great late-night TV show hosts like Elvira is coming to an end. I suspect even if this show had been successfully canceled, Jimmy Kimmel would have figured out his next move. And hopefully he saved a little bit of that, 1%er income he's been earning for years. I doubt he worries about making the rent or paying the heating bill this winter the way I do. That's a significant source of anxiety for me. I don't mean to throw shade at him for saying that. Maybe a dash, but it's all in good fun. Sorta. Satire is sacred. Lest we forget, George Orwell called his famous major dystopian novel 1984 satire. Medieval kings kept court jesters around, not just to make them laugh, but so that the king would not take himself too seriously. And if the king did take himself too seriously and have the jester executed or something, it was pretty much considered a sign to the rest of the court that maybe it's time for a new king. In Trump's pursuit of absolute power, he seems to have forgotten that. I don't think he has enough of a mind to remember it either. He really should be 25th ASAP. Cowardice is contagious, but so is courage. I remember once when, after a jock in the 8th grade tried to put his athletic support over my face on the way back from a game and wound up with a bloody lip for his effort, I was briefly a hero at a school where not that many people even knew who I was or had particularly cared previously. This breaks a long spell of multi-billion-dollar corporations, powerful law firms, and Ivy League colleges capitulating to Trump over and over again. And shame on them. We shouldn't forget this anytime soon. They made the next capitulation all the more likely. Finally, we have some resistance. And even if it did come from the least popular late night talk show host, which I don't know that it did, but that would only make me like Jimmy Kimmel all the more.